So I'm here with Robert Luna. Robert just finished his walk across America. It was I've been following it for a while, and it's pretty incredible, man. Just the stories that you had, the people that you met, the hugs, right? How many hugs is it now?
I don't know, but
It's got to be over 600.
It's way over that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think it's in the thousands. I tend to forget, or tell Lisa to update the true account, and some of those hugs is probably left to be, unaccounted for and just only known between me and that person that needed it,
Yeah, and sometimes you got to keep it like that, right?
You have to.
Yeah. And then, I've been following there's that one video you showed up on the stage, the gentleman with the belt buckle, and that meant a lot.
Nathaniel,
right?
absolutely.
Nathaniel, yeah, so that was incredible, man. Just the people you meet, the gifts that you get, not just tangible gifts, but, something like meeting somebody and just connecting with them, man.
Yeah.
So tell me, like, from beginning to end, man, how was the journey for you?
It was it was so emotional. On a daily basis, and it was either emotional because of somebody I met, or emotional because of me wanting to quit.
Right.
Because of the heat, or my own mind playing tricks on me being alone for so long, or I didn't have my best day, and it affected others, and so every day was a struggle in its own right. But I knew I had to do it.
Right.
I knew I had to complete this mission and my journey for the sake of others.
Yeah.
For the sake of others. I mean, this thing was started because of myself first and foremost. But I soon quickly realized that this was going to be bigger than me.
Yeah.
And not only in the military side, the veteran side, the civilian side. That doesn't know what it's like to be in the military. It doesn't know what it's like to be told what to do on an every single day basis.
You're absolutely right.
Even as we got higher in rank, we were still told what to do.
That's right.
We knew what to do.
Yep.
But we always had direction. And when we take that uniform off, all that direction stops.
Yeah.
And we're used to that direction.
Yeah, you lose that battle rhythm.
Yeah.
And it's like, what now?
What now?
Yeah.
And we don't have those, drill sergeants, company commanders, we don't have those people pushing us on a daily basis. We don't have our shipmates, the Marines, the Army guys. They're not together anymore to push each other and get through the day.
Yeah.
Because essentially that's what a lot of them are doing. They're just getting through the day.
That's right. Yeah. I know a little bit about that. I mean, you and I were both retirees. We've been through that whole, looking down the black hole, and you're like, what do I do now? What do I do with my life? What's my new day going to bring? And it's unfortunate that it needs to be like that, right? But,
right.
You got to find that tribe. You got to find the connection with somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? And and I think you've started that. At least, you've gone across the country. You've connected with fellow veterans. Maybe somebody who didn't realize that they needed you at that point in time, and you just happen to be that saving grace at that point in time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm glad I met this guy because I was going through something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it was, it was as close as 2 days ago when I came to this base just to get the lay of the land and what everybody was going to be doing, and E8 saw my shirt.
Yeah.
Stopped his rental car because he wasn't stationed here. He was here visiting some friends, and he's like, "Free hug?" I was like, "Yeah." So I gave him a hug, and he didn't know who I was. And I told him what I was doing and why I'm doing it, and then he was like, "Hey, you got 10 minutes?" And he pulled his car off. I said, "Yeah, I got 10 minutes." And he's like, "I'm having trouble." Like, as a 16-year E8, and for him to come up to me on a whim, and we cried for like 15 minutes because he's having trouble being accepted in the Coast Guard or finding his place in the Coast Guard as a E8.
Yeah.
Like, that was so powerful for me, for him, who was a Hispanic man, to come out and say, "I'm struggling."
That's tough.
Just like I am, Hispanic man, you know, which is not the norm for our culture
No, it
to
isn't.
show emotion.
It isn't. It's always been you're the macho man.
Yes.
You know, or you know, ponte macho, no se llora, that type of thing.
Yep.
You know, we've heard it growing up.
Yes.
But it does take a lot. You know. And
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely does. And the only way I could do this was walk across America and promote healing through emotions
Right.
and Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And I did not expect the healing part from Mother Earth to happen, but it truly was the most powerful thing that helped me
Yeah.
heal. It gave me so much clarity on what I want to do with the rest of my life that is definitely one of the things that I am going to push, is to teach other veterans how to let Mother Earth heal them.
Now, as
From the
in Mother
inside.
Earth, like being in touch with nature,
Yes.
being alone
Yes,
with nature.
being in touch with nature, being alone with nature, being in a group with nature,
Yeah.
and seeing other people also learn about the healing part of Mother Earth.
Right.
Taking your shoes off, walking in the grass.
Grounding. Yeah.
I was lucky enough when I was in Williams, Arizona, I took the train up to the Grand Canyon. So it was my first time
right.
on a train.
I saw that. That's awesome.
My first time at Grand Canyon, and I took my shoes off and I went, over the cliff,
Right.
and I let my feet hang over. But then I also put them on the Grand Canyon rock I was there for like an hour,
Yeah.
just taking it all in.
There's like a sense of serenity.
Yes,
Right. There's a
yes.
sense of serenity, like the just putting your feet on the ground, right? That'll kind of give you the negative ions. Right,
Yes,
from the
yes,
ground. So you kind of
yes.
build that up, and it relieves inflammation, but also in overall well-being, sense of well-being.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so between that, the hugs, promoting human touch
Yeah.
in the most healing way possible, which is a hug, because 8 seconds you transfer those positive, negative ions between each other, and then you balance each other out.
That's right.
It takes 8 seconds.
That's right.
I mean, in today's world, we don't even look up at each other in the stores.
No,
We don't say hello.
we're on our phones
Yes,
scrolling,
yes,
all day.
yeah.
So I can see that. I can imagine, right? Just coming from like the Marine Corps aspect, like it's tough for somebody who is like in a leadership position.
Yes.
Like that gentleman with the 16-year-old Coast Guard
Yes.
gentleman. It's tough for somebody to come up and say, "Hey, I need help,"
Yeah.
or "I am having a rough time. Can I talk to somebody?" I can say that from experience because it's tough. It was tough for me. Like I kept it all bottled up inside.
Right.
A lot of folks do, right? So, I mean, did you encounter any kind of pushback with any kind of like the free hugs? Like, hey, do you want a hug? Nothing like that. It was just well accepted.
Not a single person ever pushed back for a hug. Because everybody wants to hug.
Yeah,
We're just
yeah.
afraid to hug.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what the other person's going to think.
Right. Yeah. So that
It was
makes sense.
easy for people to come up to me because I had the hat, I had the shirt, and I'm already advertising,
That's
hug
right.
me.
That's right.
So people were more apt to hug me.
Yeah.
And it was brought up, so we kind of did a little thing about all the hugs, right? Like I really tried to document every single hug, take
Yeah.
pictures. 75% of the hugs were males.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would not have guessed that.
Would not have guessed it
Yeah.
until we talked about it. And and then I started asking, why did you hug me? And most of the males would say, I've always been a hugger. I want to hug,
Right.
but I'm afraid what people will think if I hug somebody.
Yeah. And
So-
out in the open, like out in the public too, right?
On the public.
Yeah. You don't see that too often.
No.
You know, like I
No.
don't expect to be walking through Walmart and have somebody come up to me and hug. I mean, then again, I'm not wearing the shirt, right? So-
Right. And I didn't like when he came up to me, I to be at that moment in Walmart at that particular time to meet Nathaniel was truly like somebody up above that knew exactly that we two had to meet.
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
Right place, right
It
time.
it's just wild. It's just moments like that. There was a
Human
moment.
connection.
Yeah, and Mother Earth, right? Go back to Mother Earth. There's a moment where I was in Alabama, and it was like one of the early days, and it was hot.
Yeah.
and it was like a long day. It was like 26 miles or something, and I was like, I can't do this. I was gonna quit.
Really?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, butterflies started coming around. And then all of a sudden,
That was a sign.
butterflies were on my cart. Butterflies were landing on me.
Yeah.
And they stayed with me for like 2 miles. And it was just like more and more.
Yeah.
And I have pictures and video, and I just couldn't believe what's happening. And then because I had like 3 miles left, and for 2 miles they stayed with me, and then they started going off, and then they gave me that push.
That was a sign.
They
man.
gave me that push to keep going.
That was awesome
for that
dude.
day, and I was just like, okay,
Yeah, just when you are
Right?
on the cusp of
right? Oh yeah,
like
that's
dropping
when
the
I
pack.
knew that this was going to be a special journey.
That's good.
It was going to be a special journey.
That's good. Yeah, yeah. Any other times along the way where you thought maybe I just need to call it quits, or was it just go all the time, or did you even get any more signs?
No,
like that?
there was a lot of times, like on a morning basis, I would be like, God, what am I doing? Can I do this today? You know,
Because it was what 20 miles a day almost, right? Average.
it was 22.68.
Yeah.
So that was the average. But more so when I was done walking for the day. Like the toll on those daily walks on my body, it truly took about 6 hours for my body to recover.
Right.
There's those first 2-3 hours, I wanted to quit every single day.
Really?
Every single day.
You felt it in your knees,
Yes.
your feet, joints, everything.
In my head, I was a hot mess
Yeah.
for 2 to 3 hours after that, and then my mind frame would change, my body would regulate itself, and then my body was fine, and I would take a nap,
it.
and then I would eat, and that was every day. And I just kind of learned that's how my body and my mind processed every single day of the walk.
Good.
It was a little perpetual cycle, just like boot camp.
Yep.
You know, you knew every day what you were doing for 8 weeks.
Exactly. You need that rhythm,
Yep,
man.
you need that rhythm. I found that rhythm about 2 months into it.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing.
That's right. That's
I
right.
figured it out.
Yeah.
You
And-
know,
and you didn't sleep on the street or anything, right? You had
No.
support along the way.
I had my team was able to find me a place to sleep every single night.
Good.
Whether it was in somebody's yard, a church, a retreat center, police stations. I stayed in police stations, schools. American Legions and VFWs. They opened up their doors to the halls and let me stay in there.
That's great. So a ton
And
of
then,
support.
and then later on, Motel 6 signed on.
Really?
So anywhere there's a Motel 6, I got to stay for free.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That's great.
It was
man.
awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
So they are really trying to get back into the military game. They're revamping their hotels, and they saw this opportunity to sponsor, my journey, and then, and they're also they want to be a leading, contributor to mental health resiliency within the military, and then hopefully,
Yeah, that's the jump start they need, man.
yeah, they do.
Wow,
Get back
wow.
out of that image,
That's good. That's
So,
good.
yeah.
So what? I know you talked a little bit about it when you were up on stage,
Yep.
right? Phase 2.
Phase 2.
You got phase 1 done here.
Yep.
Tell me about phase 2.
So phase 2, the AL2LA Foundation, we are going to be solely focused on, from the get-go, making sure a veteran has a mental health face-to-face appointment anytime they have a suicidal episode or thought, or a deep depression episode.
All right.
So within 72 hours, my foundation will help pay for that first meeting with the psychiatrist, counselor, or therapist, whoever we have on call at that specific day or week.
Sure.
And then we will help guide them through the processes of maintaining that, mental health provider, or sometimes with military guys and women, that's all we need, right? That one time,
That's it.
talk to somebody,
Yeah.
get right, get their ideas, and then move on, But if in the case that they do need help for further treatment, my foundation will help guide that and be an advocate, make sure that they obtain the care.
Very cool.
Not 5.5 months later, in my case,
Yeah.
within 72 hours, at least that first in-person meeting with somebody.
Yeah, because once you hear it, once somebody explains, "Hey, look, I'm giving all my stuff away for whatever reason," that should be a trigger right there. Let's look into why you're giving your stuff away,
That's it.
right? And just kind of as a leader, right? As a community, if you're still active duty as a leader, you should start asking questions. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
How's everything at home? You know, that should be the trigger for that.
Yeah.
But is it going to be like licensed therapists that are on the phone, or
Yes.
is it seeing
No.
somebody?
So my goal is not to do phone stuff, because we have those 988, you know, and other foundations
That's
that
right,
offer
that's
that
right. Yep.
online portion of it.
Yeah.
I found that a lot of veterans need that face-to-face.
That's
they
right,
don't
yep.
want to call somebody on a phone.
Yeah.
They need that face-to-face, and that's what I want to provide.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, and get, you know, just start talking to counselors and therapists and be like, hey, would you be willing at a reduced rate to see somebody at an abbreviated? It'll be like 10 to 15 minute one, but it'll help the veteran realize they're not forgotten about.
That's right.
And this quick reaction, like a quick reaction, like appointment is what I'm looking at. Just like the Coast Guard has to go out within 30 minutes of a distress call. Why is the government not held to the same standard when we are in distress for our own lives?
That's a good question, man. So,
You know?
so your idea is a QRF, a quick reaction force.
Correct.
When it comes to somebody needing somebody to talk to, when it comes,
Correct.
when they're going down that hole of mental health.
Yes.
Okay, I like that, man. I
Yep.
like that. So when do you think that's gonna get kicked off or started?
Hopefully within 6 months
Really?
of,
Okay.
of January. So
Okay.
so like mid next year.
Yeah, okay.
That's the goal.
That's quick,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep. That's the goal.
So so how are you looking for sponsors for that, or
We're going to need sponsors.
Okay.
We're going to need money, and we're going to need to get psychiatrists, therapists, and counselors on board
okay?
to help. And essentially, it's going to be like, you know, they're going to be like an on-call basis, like, and be like, hey, can you handle Monday through Friday, and then, you know, and then so on and so forth, you know, and
Gotcha,
and we hope that we don't have any calls, right? We hope that everybody's good.
Yeah.
But if we do have a call,
Yeah, it's there
at
when
2
they
or
need
3
it.
in the morning, within 72 hours, they will be seen by that therapist, counselor, and we'll
good.
arrange a safe place for them to meet. In the event that they don't have their own office, or our office will be the safe place where they can
Good.
come and both meet and have their appointment, and then be on their way. And then,
So this is all going to be nationwide then, like
yes,
different satellite
Correct.
offices or people across
Correct.
the nation.
People across the nation, and we will help facilitate that first meeting
Good,
and
good.
pay for it. They will not have to worry about paying for it.
Excellent, man.
Yep.
Excellent.
So that's
Do you have
the
any like future plans of maybe teaming up with, like for the Marine Corps, they have Marine for Life, or they have Military One Source, right?
Right.
Do you have any plans of like teaming up with anybody like that?
100%.
Yeah.
Like, the more we team up with partners that have the same goals in mind, I feel like the better our network's going to be.
Good.
And then we can tap into other things, like, you know, having you know, Raptor Man here, and
That's right.
and getting his support and his platform to let veterans know that we are out there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, I definitely noticed this, a lot of times, a lot of these, you know, there's a lot of great nonprofits out there, but there's so many, but they don't have the money to promote, right? Because their budgets are so small, and they just have cars and all that. It's like, well, I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
One of the ones is Guitars for Heroes.
That's
for
right.
vets.
That's right. Yeah.
Holy
yeah.
crap!
We had
that's
him on the
awesome.
podcast
Yes.
not so long ago. Yeah.
Guitars for Veterans is an amazing thing. And I
is,
just
it
heard
is.
about it. And I was just like, oh, I actually told one of them today, because they signed right up to try to get a guitar and some lessons.
Yeah, they link you up with somebody in the local area,
Yeah.
teach you how to play the guitar,
Yep.
and they give you a guitar.
Yes.
Yeah, so great
It's
organization.
wild.
Great organization. It's
like-
good when you can get somebody involved with that stuff.
Yes, yeah, and that goes along with mental health.
It does. It
You know,
does.
music.
It does.
Music is a great healer.
Yeah, tapping into creativity, I think, is a big proponent of helping with that mental health.
Correct.
I do art on the side. That's what I kind of gravitate to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you do anything like creative?
I've been walking.
Okay, well, yeah, just a little bit. Just a
I've
little
been
bit.
walking, so that's been my thing. Oh shit. Okay, so I got 5 minutes.
No, you're all good,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that. It's going to be a great thing. My nonprofit will not just go to bed. I won't allow it. Just not my nature.
Right.
And I can't wait to, you know, go to headquarters, and I hope I get called to the halls of Congress to testify
Yeah.
about my journey and what I found on the road face to face every single day.
Dude, I hope I see you there, man, because
Yeah.
we definitely need you.
Yeah.
Well, I won't keep you more.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
It was
thank you,
great talking to you,
Victor.
man.
Yeah, and let's link up. You
Absolutely.
actually have given me prompt to start my own podcast, and it's
Awesome,
going to be
man.
the AL2LA One Step at a Time
Excellent,
podcast.
excellent.
And I'm going to do that out of my home and all that. So I'm going to be hitting you up with some
I'm
of these,
there, man. Yeah,
some of
put
these
me on the
gear
schedule.
issues and all that stuff, and let me know what works for you and what
Yeah.
you have found like what works, and,
Absolutely,
and
man.
show me your setup at
Yeah,
home. and
I'm
things
I'm
like
here
that.
when you need me, man.
Awesome.
Great
Hey,
talking to you
thank
again,
you
man.
so much. I'm so glad we met.
Add that to the count,
Yep,
man.
absolutely. All right, I'll see you later.